Welcome to True Crime. Today in this episode, we're taking you to Shaker Heights, Ohio, a peaceful, affluent suburb. Lisa Thompson, a beloved 48-year-old resident, was known for her warm personality and active community involvement. She lived with her husband, Tom, who was 16 years her junior, and her daughter from a previous marriage, Emily, a determined college student. On the morning of April 7, 2019, Shaker Heights awoke to a tragic discovery. Emily found Lisa collapsed on the kitchen floor, unresponsive, with a spilled can of her favorite diet Pepsi beside her. In shock, Emily frantically dialed 911. Paramedics arrived swiftly, but were unable to revive Lisa, pronouncing her dead at the scene. Detective Anna, an experienced investigator, noticed odd details that cast doubt on the assumption of natural causes. The house showed no signs of forced entry, and everything seemed in order. Yet Lisa's untouched can of Diet Pepsi in her body's position troubled Anna, leading her to secure the scene and order an autopsy. When questioned, Tom's reaction to Lisa's death was oddly composed. He admitted that their marriage had become strained, though he claimed to work long hours to support the family. However, Anna picked up on inconsistencies in his statements. While he noted that Diet Pepsi was Lisa's favorite drink, he couldn't explain why she had left it half-finished beside her. As Anna dug deeper, she discovered troubling clues about Tom's behavior and uncovered layers of hidden secrets, hinting at a motive far darker than anyone had imagined. Lisa's death, initially appearing accidental, now seemed entangled in a web of deceit and intrigue that would soon unravel in shocking ways. In 2019, Lisa Thompson's sudden death shook the tight-knit community of Shaker Heights, Ohio. Initially thought to be natural, her passing soon raised suspicions, particularly around her husband, Tom Thompson. Investigators discovered Tom harbored a disturbing obsession with his 19-year-old stepdaughter, Emily, adding a grim layer to their inquiries. As detectives delved into the case, they uncovered Tom's chilling internet search history about cyanide. Lisa's toxicology report confirmed cyanide poisoning, pointing directly to her can of Diet Pepsi as the source. This revelation made it clear her death was premeditated. Tom, who had become emotionally distant from Lisa, saw her as an obstacle to his desire for a life with Emily. The investigation also revealed an affair between Tom and Lisa's best friend, Megan, further complicating the case and adding motive. During Tom's trial, prosecutors emphasized his obsession with Emily and the calculated nature of Lisa's murder. Defense arguments of mental instability and stress were ineffective against the solid evidence, including cyanide traces on the can and Tom's extensive search history. The jury found him guilty of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to life without parole. Lisa's daughter, Emily, devastated by the loss and her stepfather's betrayal, took time off from her studies to focus on recovery. The tragedy left a lasting impact on the community and on Emily, who gradually began the difficult journey toward healing with support from family and friends. Tom's conviction marked the end of the case but left an indelible scar on everyone affected, a reminder of the darkness hidden beneath seemingly perfect facades. The once picture-perfect life of the Robbie family spiraled into chaos as secrets, betrayal, and simmering resentment led to tragedy. John Robbie, a successful banker, had married Lisa, an admired interior designer, blending their lives and families. But their son Tom, embittered and alienated, carried years of unresolved anger from his parents' divorce and struggled to connect with his new stepmother. Tensions only worsened as Tom discovered Lisa's affair with a client named Mark. Armed with incriminating messages, Tom threatened Lisa, demanding money in exchange for his silence. Bound by fear and shame, Lisa succumbed to Tom's demands, and their relationship became a toxic, silent power struggle. Tom, intoxicated by the control, began to push further. What started as financial blackmail soon morphed into psychological torment. He made veiled threats, taunting Lisa in front of John and disrupting the household with reckless parties and contemptuous behavior. Under the weight of her guilt and the relentless manipulation, Lisa's once thriving career began to crumble. Clients noted her distracted demeanor and poor performance, while her life, once built on elegance and charm, unraveled into anxiety and despair. Unaware of the full extent of the turmoil, John remained absorbed in his career, blind to the toxicity brewing in his own home. Lisa struggled to maintain the appearance of normalcy, but the strain left visible marks, and Tom's demands escalated. Bound by fear of exposure, she found herself at a breaking point, her life fractured by betrayal and blackmail. The Robbie family, once emblematic of success, now stood as a cautionary tale, their lives irreparably scarred by secrets and power struggles, hidden behind the walls of their seemingly perfect home. Lisa's life was spiraling out of control, with Tom's relentless blackmail over her affair with Mark driving her to the edge. Tom had even started taking her vintage car for joyrides, returning it with mysterious dents. Thanksgiving loomed, and she feared exposure as the family's tension reached unbearable levels. Desperate, she confided in Mark, who held a dark past she hadn't fully grasped. Mark, a man with criminal ties and a violent history, assured her he'd handle Tom. Mark tried first with a $50,000 bribe, but Tom arrogantly demanded $250,000, threatening to expose Lisa. In a rage, Mark attacked him, warning this was his last chance. Undeterred, Tom was resolved to see his threats through, convinced he still held the power. By Christmas Eve, Lisa had hit her limit. When Tom demanded another $5,000 at their holiday party, she defied him, saying no more payments. Furious, Tom stormed out, but the facade of their family harmony was irreparably cracked. A tense January unfolded, until one night Mark confronted Tom directly, escalating into a brutal fight that left Tom battered and lifeless on his bedroom floor. Lisa stood frozen as Mark calmly cleaned the scene and disposed of Tom's body, instructing her to maintain a facade of normalcy. When John, her husband, returned home that morning, Lisa greeted him as if nothing had happened, the weight of her secret pressing down on her, a reminder that her life would never be the same. Lisa's life spiraled out of control as she tried to conceal her involvement in Tom's disappearance. Initially, her deception seemed foolproof, sending fake emails and deflecting questions with alibis. Mark, her accomplice, had disposed of Tom's body in an abandoned quarry, certain it would never be found. But as Tom's absence stretched on, suspicion grew, especially with John, Tom's close friend, who began questioning Lisa's story. Detective Sarah of Oakdale Police, a seasoned investigator, sensed something was wrong. Uncovering tensions within the Robbie family, she suspected foul play. A coworker revealed that Tom and Lisa had a heated argument about money just before his disappearance, pushing the investigation forward. Under intense interrogation, and faced with Sarah's bluff about false evidence, Lisa finally cracked, confessing her affair with Tom and Mark's role in his murder. Mark was soon apprehended, leading to further confessions. As Oakdale grappled with the betrayal and tragedy, John, devastated by Lisa's infidelity and his friend's death, left town, unable to cope. The quiet community of Oakdale, once known for its tranquility, was left scarred, forever altered by the dark truths that had surfaced. Detective Sarah, though bringing closure, could not shake the haunting question of what might have been had she uncovered the truth sooner. As the Bennett siblings grew more secretive, Gary, a local cafe owner, noticed Jake and Anna acting strangely. Their late-night meetings by the river and secluded walks stirred suspicion, but Gary kept quiet until he decided to report his concerns to Detective Julia Harper in September 2023. Julia had her own suspicions about the siblings and began investigating their hidden life. By October, Anna and Jake's relationship had become dangerously intense. Jake's jealousy spiraled as Anna tried to distance herself, hoping to live a normal teenage life. When Jake's emotional manipulation and possessiveness escalated, Anna became trapped, fearing what her brother might do. Their parents remained oblivious until the night Jake and Anna planned to escape. When their father, John, caught them packing, Jake, in a fit of panic, accidentally pushed him down the stairs, leading to John's sudden death. Anna, paralyzed with shock, took control and urged Jake to flee, leaving everything behind. They escaped into the night, abandoning family and a town that once felt like home. Their journey became a nightmare, marked by paranoia and guilt. They drifted through anonymous towns, hiding in dark corners, terrified of discovery. The memory of John's death haunted Anna, whose mind blurred reality and hallucination. Jake, too, was plagued by his father's condemning voice. With no clear destination and only each other, they were trapped in a psychological torment, unable to escape the crime they had committed or the memories that followed. Jake Thompson, a 19-year-old gym instructor, lived a life intertwined with 3 older women in his neighborhood, leading to a tragic end. Jake was drawn to older women from a young age, finding a particular thrill in the company of those who frequented his gym. Sarah, 65 and widowed, was the first to catch his eye. Their connection grew gradually, and they began meeting at local motels, filling a void in each other's lives. Jake's attention eased Sarah's loneliness, and soon their relationship turned physical. Linda, a confident 67-year-old widow, was next. Her boldness intrigued Jake, and by March 2012, she and Jake were involved in a passionate affair. Unlike Sarah, Linda welcomed Jake into her home whenever her family wasn't around, showering him with gifts to hold his interest. Meanwhile, Mary, 62, had just gone through a painful divorce and sought solace at the gym. Although hesitant, Mary was eventually captivated by Jake's charm, and their conversations evolved into clandestine meetings, beginning their affair by May. Despite dating all three women, Jake maintained his secret, making each feel uniquely special and unaware of the others. Yet his web of deceit eventually unraveled, leading to devastating consequences. Jake's clandestine relationships, driven by thrill, ultimately drew suspicion and jealousy that culminated in his tragic death in September 2012. The story revealed a dark, intertwined world of loneliness, secrecy, and betrayal in the lives of three women seeking solace and companionship, each grappling with the fallout of Jake's untimely demise. Jake, a young gym instructor, found himself entangled in secret relationships with three older women: Sarah, Linda, and Mary. Each woman had different expectations and emotional investments in their relationships with Jake. Sarah, initially cautious, found herself consumed with thoughts of Jake, even contemplating major life changes to be closer to him. Linda, more assertive, showered Jake with gifts and demanded his constant attention, viewing their relationship as exclusive. Mary, recently divorced, sought comfort in Jake's company, meeting him in secluded spots to keep their connection private. As the summer of 2012 progressed, Jake's careful balancing act began to unravel. The women became increasingly attached, unknowingly competing for his attention, while Jake reveled in the power and excitement of maintaining multiple affairs. However, his world collapsed on August 15th when Sarah and Linda unexpectedly crossed paths at the gym. Jake's betrayal was revealed, igniting Sarah's fury. Sarah confronted Jake the following day, and when he dismissed their relationship as meaningless, her heartbreak transformed into uncontrollable rage. On September 12th, driven by vengeance, she confronted him alone at the gym, and in a fit of anger, struck him fatally with a dumbbell. Mary, arriving soon after, fled in shock. Sarah, along with Linda's help, staged the scene to frame Mary, hoping to escape suspicion. Their plot unraveled when a gym cleaner testified overhearing Sarah's confrontation, and security footage confirmed Sarah's presence. Forensic evidence tied both Sarah and Linda to the crime, exonerating Mary. In October 2012, Sarah and Linda were arrested and charged with murder. Their trial captivated the public, revealing the deadly consequences of betrayal and obsession. Emma Harris, only child of a real estate mogul, grew up in a world of wealth and high expectations, groomed to maintain a flawless public image. But her perfect life was marred by a lack of warmth at home, where her father was strict and her mother critical. Seeking escape, Emma excelled academically and developed a love for art history, eventually earning a spot at an Ivy League school. Though she thrived academically, Emma struggled with self-doubt and often found herself entangled in fleeting, intense relationships. Her life took a turn when she met Ethan Turner, a kind, grounded environmental scientist who seemed to offer stability and peace. Drawn to his steady nature, she convinced herself he could heal her inner turmoil, and their relationship soon deepened. Ethan, in contrast to Emma, came from a modest, close-knit family. His values of honesty and hard work were instilled by his parents, a doctor and a teacher, in their small-town home. His passion for environmental conservation led him to work for a nonprofit dedicated to protecting endangered species. When he met Emma at a fundraising event, her beauty and intelligence captivated him. He believed she was his perfect match and proposed, picturing a life built on trust and shared purpose. However, Ethan's sense of security in their love was about to be tested in ways he could never foresee. Meanwhile, Ethan's cousin Liam, born into a life of privilege, had grown up largely neglected by his career-driven parents. Known as the family's black sheep, Liam's charm often masked his emotional struggles. His rebellious nature led him to a chaotic, hedonistic lifestyle. When he met Emma, his immediate attraction to her would threaten to unravel the stability Ethan and Emma sought to build. Emma's life of perfection, Ethan's values, and Liam's recklessness would soon collide, reshaping all their lives forever. Emma was unlike any woman Liam had met: sharp, intriguing and familiar with the weight of family expectations. Their playful flirtation quickly grew into something dangerous. As Emma's wedding to Ethan approached, Liam's attraction deepened, igniting a conflict between loyalty to his cousin and his forbidden feelings for Emma. Both Emma and Liam wrestled with guilt and desire, their secret attraction threatening the stability of Emma's engagement. Ethan, oblivious to the hidden tension, continued planning an extravagant wedding under societal pressure, despite his desire for a simple celebration. Emma's mother fueled her pursuit of a lavish affair, causing friction with Ethan's modest values and pushing him to compromise. Emma became overwhelmed, snapping over minor details, while Ethan withdrew, leaving wedding plans to her. Amidst the stress, Liam's presence offered Emma comfort and a thrilling escape. One night, as tensions boiled over, she and Liam crossed a line, igniting an affair veiled in secrecy and passion. Their trysts became reckless, and Ethan, once proud of his intuition, began noticing subtle changes. Emma became glued to her phone, irritably brushing off his questions, while Liam grew distant, attending family events with an unease he couldn't hide. As their wedding neared, Emma and Liam's inability to end their affair clouded reality. In quiet moments, they made impossible promises to each other, ignoring the chaos they were creating. Ethan's suspicions finally intensified as he noticed Liam's nervous glances toward Emma and the lingering scent of unfamiliar cologne. Fueled by unease, Ethan grew more watchful, while Emma and Liam, blind to his awareness, continued their dangerous game, oblivious to the storm about to destroy the life Ethan had so carefully crafted. Ethan felt increasingly uneasy as he noticed the way Emma and Liam exchanged knowing glances, sharing inside jokes that excluded him. Unable to confront his fears directly, he began a private investigation, snooping through Emma's phone and scanning credit card bills. Each new discovery twisted like a dagger in his gut: a receipt for 2 champagne glasses on a night Emma had claimed to be working late, a quickly deleted text from Liam reading, "Missing you," and a lipstick smudge on Liam's collar that matched Emma's favorite shade. As the wedding day approached, Ethan spiraled into suspicion and denial. He wanted to believe in Emma's love, but the mounting evidence suffocated him. Friends and family attributed his distant behavior to pre-wedding nerves, oblivious to the emotional battlefield he was navigating. Finally, 2 weeks before the wedding, Ethan confronted Emma about her relationship with Liam. She feigned innocence, attributing his accusations to wedding stress, but he noticed her trembling hands and flickering discomfort. Despite Emma's defensive denials, he pressed on, laying out his evidence. Reluctantly, they called Liam, whose smooth reassurances drained Ethan further. By the end of the conversation, Emma urged him to focus on their future, but the trust between them had irrevocably shattered. On the morning of the wedding, the atmosphere felt heavy for both Ethan and Emma. While she wrestled with guilt, he grappled with whether he could still go through with the ceremony. Just as the ceremony began, Ethan, unable to bear the weight of betrayal, stood at the altar and announced the wedding's cancellation, delivering his somber apology to the shocked guests. Before he could exit, chaos erupted as Liam brandished a concealed gun. Emma screamed his name, terror etched on her face. Panic ensued, but Ethan maintained his composure, urging Liam to put the weapon down, desperate to reach him through the madness. Emma stood in shock, her once pristine wedding gown now a mess, as Liam's desperate words tumbled out. She approached him cautiously, pleading for him to stop, hoping to reach the man she loved. For a brief moment, Liam's grip on the gun faltered, but soon his resolve hardened again. The room held its breath as tension thickened, and he muttered, "There's no turning back now." In a blur, he tightened his grip on the trigger, just as Emma lunged to stop him. Ethan, in a frantic sprint, aimed to protect her. Time froze as the deafening gunshot shattered the air and chaos erupted. Emma crumpled to the ground, her wedding dress stained crimson as screams filled the ballroom. Ethan dropped to his knees, calling Emma's name in disbelief. Her breaths were shallow, and blood soaked her gown. Liam stood paralyzed, the gun slipping from his fingers as the reality of his actions crashed over him. Guests rushed to help, while Ethan pressed on Emma's wound, desperate to save her. "Stay with me," he begged. Emma's eyes fluttered open as she whispered, "I'm sorry," before a violent cough interrupted her, blood trickling down her lips. Despite frantic efforts to stop the bleeding, Emma's responses weakened, and when paramedics arrived, it was too late. She was pronounced dead, her life tragically cut short. Liam was charged with second-degree murder, his future shattered in a moment of rage. Ethan, engulfed in grief and guilt, fled to the wilderness, unable to escape the haunting memories of that day. What was meant to be a joyful celebration became a nightmare, forever altering the lives of everyone present. The echoes of that tragedy lingered, leaving behind shattered dreams and broken hearts. After meeting, Mick Philpott and Marie Duffy quickly moved in together, with Mick taking responsibility for her young son. When Marie gave birth to their daughter Jade, Mick proposed to her in the hospital. However, his attention soon turned to Lisa Willis, a 16-year-old orphan and single mother, whom he also brought into their home, creating a deeply dysfunctional household. Despite the odd dynamic, Lisa and Marie grew close, confiding in each other about the controlling presence of Mick. Both women had been vulnerable and easily manipulated, highlighting Mick's disturbing pattern of preying on young girls who were in fragile situations. In May 2003, Mick married Marie with Lisa as the bridesmaid. From then on, Mick maintained both relationships under one roof, leading to a chaotic life filled with 11 children in a cramped 3-bedroom council house. While Marie and Lisa worked to support the family, Mick remained unemployed, exploiting their earnings and government benefits. His desire for more children was driven by financial gain, treating his family as a means to maximize benefits. Mick's grievances with local authorities led him to seek media attention, culminating in a 2007 appearance on The Jeremy Kyle Show. During the show, he defended his lifestyle and attempted to shift blame for his unemployment onto the media. His aggressive demeanor and dismissive attitude toward parenting only escalated tensions with the host, further tarnishing his image. Despite his attempts to garner public sympathy, Mick was labeled as Britain's biggest scrounger, revealing his manipulative nature. In a later documentary, conservative MP Anne Widdecombe spent a week with Mick, trying to inspire change in his life. She secured him 3 job offers, but he failed to show up for the first day. The documentary exposed Mick's refusal to take responsibility for his actions and his derogatory treatment of the women in his life, leaving viewers questioning why they accepted such a toxic situation.